What's up, everybody? Johnny Rottenseed, Dark Side of the Spoon, coming back at you. Like I said, I'd made a decision to keep this channel going, so here I am. And some of you know me pretty well, have had me as whatever in your life, so some of you probably knew that this video was coming. I tried to hold out as long as I could on making it because things are very political. It's a very political time right now. But I can only hold my tongue for so long. So here we are. This is going to refer to some politics. It's going to refer to things in general, day-to-day life and normal people. And it's going to refer to addicts as well. Topic of the day is victim stance. So if you don't know what victim stance is, it's a person playing the victim due to whatever circumstance they're in, or because whatever excuse that they come up with. See, the victim stance is basically an excuse. My life is this way because I can't succeed in my life because that's playing a victim. You're in victim stance if those are the types of things that you tell people or tell yourself. So, and I'm sure you guys can already see right now how this is going to relate. But that being said, let me go ahead and voice this as well. If you are racist, you suck. If you are homophobic, you suck. If you are against some particular type of religion, you suck. If you have prejudice, man, you suck. I firmly believe that every man, woman, child, transgender, homosexual, whatever, we judge those people by our character. So how you treat me and how you treat others is how I judged you. Period. If, you come into my life and you're an asshole, then you're an asshole. I'm not going to deal with you. It's not because of your skin color or because your choices in life or your sexuality. None of that stuff matters. It's because you're an asshole and I don't want anything to do with assholes. But, that being said, if you're any of those things, you suck. But there's more to what's going on as a society and what's going on with addicts and what's going on with normal people than just these excuses that we're using. So let me explain in the best way possible. I grew up rather poor. Not to go too in depth on childhood and stuff like that, but I grew up with a mostly single mother who worked at a shoe department, a shoe store, for a good portion of my life to be able to afford to provide what she could for me. And I had everything that I needed, basically, and some of what I wanted. And there was things like assistance and stuff like that involved, but you know what I mean? We were by no means wealthy. My mom and my dad were never married. The circumstances of me coming into the world are quite a story. But that being said, just because of those circumstances, I use those things like that as an excuse for part of my life, right? I didn't have everything that all the other kids had, or, I just wanted to be somebody else. I wanted, whatever. I wanted nicer things. I want this, I want that. I wish. I played the victim. My life is not like that today. And the reason why is because I've established ownership upon my life. I take responsibility for my actions. I take responsibility for what I want. If I want something, I set my mind to it and I work my ass off until I get it. Let me explain something else to you. I have 2 nieces that are biracial. I have 2 nieces who are both in college. I have 2 nieces that are doing far better things than I ever did in my life at a young age, and they are biracial. Why? Right? I should have been on a better footing, right? The reason why is because they took ownership for what they wanted. They wanted to be involved in sports. They wanted to go to college. They took ownership in all these things, and now they're doing great things. Why? Ownership and responsibility. They understood that. I did not whenever I was younger. See, it's not about my circumstance at all. It's about my choice. My responsibility to do something to change my life or to do better with my life. My path is chosen, though. I've already been through it. But I still got some days left, so I choose to do something better. If you're sitting somewhere right now and you're blaming everything on everybody else, you suck just like the racist person. You suck like the homophobe. You suck. And you're never going to do anything with your life because you won't take responsibilities for your choices and your actions. You won't take responsibility to get off your ass and do something about it. As I said, this is probably going to get offensive. And if you're offended, I'm sorry. If you're an addict, call your sponsor. If you're not an addict, you're just a normal person listening to this, call somebody who fucking cares. We as a community need to start taking responsibility. Period. You want things to change within your community, change them. How about this for a start? Instead of saying the African American community or the Caucasian community or the Asian community or the Hispanic community, how about we say the fucking community? How about we say American community? That makes more sense to me. How about this? If you want to change your life, why don't you do it within your home? Not trying to be a dick, but I see a lot of the stuff going on with the protests. I don't agree with some of it. I agree with some of it. I don't agree that violence and all those other things are a justified way to deal with violence. Violence shouldn't breed more violence. But that being said, I see all this stuff going on and nobody taking responsibility. Y'all know what I'm saying? How about we take responsibility? As the communities that we're talking about, how about we try to keep fathers in the home a little bit more? How about we invest a little bit more money in community action programs for the impoverished people, right? And I know what people are thinking, well, the African American community are impoverished. There are more white Americans living in poverty than there are African Americans right now. Truth. It's the truth. Look it up. If you want to change these things, we have to take responsibility, right? You want to change how a community or a people is viewed, take responsibility. Quit glorifying fucking gangster rap that talks about shooting cops and shooting each other and selling dope and all that other shit. How about glorify something more positive? Whatever you want to look at. You can give your glory to God. You can give your glory to, education. You can give your glory to artistry, whatever you want to give it to. But quit glorifying bullshit. Because guess what that does? It teaches the next generation to be the exact same way that we're living right now. Law enforcement. If there's anybody watching, we need to do something better there too. We need a better vetting process. We need to make sure that people who do not react well under stress or have any type of prejudice bias is not in that position. This is not a profession that we have very much leeway in messing up. So we need to do better there. And I don't think that defunding law enforcement is the way to do that. I think we actually need to fund it a bit more so we can have better training and a better vetting process. That is just my opinion. Please don't jump in the comment box. Don't give a shit. That's my opinion, and that's what it's going to be. We got to take responsibility. You need to take action. You need to take responsibility, and you need to own your shit. As communities, as I said before, as an American community, we need to own our shit. If there's something wrong, we'll fix it. Show me what it is. But let's quit blaming everybody else for our own damn problems. If you want to do better and make your community better, start within. I promise you that, you know, the federal government isn't trying to hold down whatever small town or small community in this particular area. It's not what's happening, man. A lot of times people look at things and they say, well, if they don't give a fuck, why should we? That's how I feel about it. So I can understand where that type of thinking comes from. We got to take responsibility, man. We can no longer take the victim stance. We can't. So take responsibility. If you want to see things change around you, then you need to take responsibility to change them. If you want to see the community get better, start with your family. Work on your marital problems. Don't do dumb shit. Don't think that selling dope's a career. Don't glorify rap music and you know, teach our children fuck the police. How about teaching our children respect of all human beings, of all walks of life? How about teaching them that there is no difference between African American, Caucasian American, Asian American, just American? When we start putting away all these things and taking responsibility for what's within the home, if every home does that, guess what happens? The community gets better. So, quit taking the victim stance. Addicts, if you're listening, the victim stance will kill you. It will. If you always have an excuse for everything, you're going to excuse your way into getting high. You're going to excuse your way into an overdose. You cannot play the victim. A victim never recovers. Never. They don't. Why? Because you always got an excuse. I said it in the very first video that we ever did, and everybody got a good laugh out of it. Own your shit. Don't be a bitch. Take a good, honest look at yourself, and that's the absolute truth. You got to. The victim stance will kill you. I don't get to play the victim anymore. Whenever I make a decision, I have to take responsibility for it, whether the consequence is good or bad. I don't get to play the victim, and I don't get to place blame. I'm in a position where I manage other people's lives. Guess what happens? Sometimes I gotta take the fall, man. If I make the wrong decision, I've got to own up to it. I gotta look at the people above me and say, hey, I made that call. Or maybe somebody else does something, right? One of my staff members or the people under me, maybe they do something wrong. But guess who's going to eat it? Me. Why? Because maybe I could have did better at training that person. Or, you know, maybe I didn't explain something well enough. Or maybe I shouldn't have put that person in that position. Right, I'll eat it. Now, don't get me wrong, it'll go down from there. But I'll take responsibility. Because that's what I got to do. I got to place ownership. Take responsibility for my actions. You guys think about this, man. If you're sitting here thinking of excuses right now because you're mad about what I said in this video, you're the problem. People not taking responsibility are the problem. Again, that goes all the way across the board. Whatever community you're in, if you're not taking responsibility for it, you're the problem. Whatever profession you're in, if you ain't taking responsibility for it, you're the problem. We got to take a look at all these things, man. This shit ain't working, right? It ain't working. So we need to do something different. And I think how we do that, truly, honestly, as addicts, as normal people, as law enforcement, as African American community, white community, all of us, we take responsibility at the home setting, the family setting. We start there and we move it on out. If we teach our kids to be responsible, if we teach our kids to take ownership, if we teach our kids to treat everybody with respect, as long as they treat us with respect, then the world will change. I've come to the conclusion that my generation pretty much fucked. But I'm trying to instill in my kids, you judge a person by how they treat you, and you treat them accordingly. I'm also going to teach my kids that if a person's always got an excuse for everything, they're a fucking victim, and don't hang around them. Because someone going nowhere ain't the type of people we want to be around. Like I said, addicts, the victim stance, playing the victim, always have an excuse, it will fucking kill you. It'll kill you. So if you're doing it now, you need to check it. Take a good look at what's going on with you. America, as a people, we all could take something from what's taught in recovery. And that's ownership and responsibility. We need to start taking more responsibility for our communities and for our actions at the family level and beyond. And maybe we can change this thing around. Like I said before, if you're offended by this, you're the problem. I'm just trying to throw out a solution and something that might help. And I always think that if you are offended in all matters, you're the problem. Because why get offended about something such as words? Words are literally just sounds. They mean nothing. If someone's not physically harming you, who cares? Guys, my recovery community, my using addicts, Americans, let's start to take responsibility for what we're doing. Try to love each other instead of producing all this hate that's going on one way or the other. Both sides are in the wrong. I'm sorry, but both sides are in the wrong. We're doing nothing but breeding hate. What I'm telling you is, let's breed some love. Let's show other people the respect that we want, and maybe we'll get it in return. So, I appreciate y'all listening to me rant a little bit about this. Like I said, if you're offended, stay out of the comment box. I don't give a shit. If you're offended, call your sponsor, call your religious leader, call somebody who gives a fuck, because I don't. If you want to discuss something that is fact, if you want to bring any type of statistics or anything my way, absolutely jump in there. I am up for an educated debate. However, I will not debate opinion or feelings, because they are not facts. They are never facts. And if you are judging everything by your opinion and your feelings, guess what? You're a fucking victim. So I don't mess with you. So that being said, I appreciate y'all listening to me. This is Dark Side of the Spoon. If you like what I do here, please like, share, subscribe. Share with other addicts. Share with your family, as long as they don't get offended by bad words. Share with whoever, man. If I'd love to see more people on here and know that the message is being heard. As for me, I am Johnny Rottenseed. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to find more of Dark Side of the Spoon, we have Dark Side of the Spoon page on Facebook, and we are Dark Side of the Spoon on YouTube, which you're probably watching right now. Again, I appreciate your time. Go out and love some people. Let's quit producing hate. Let's produce some love, and let's take responsibility for our actions. If we do that, I think America will once again be whole and be the nation that it once was and it could be. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.